Welcome to the Rip Comics Podcast, your noontime podcast fortified with 4 vitamins and minerals. Great part of your healthy noontime pleasures. Today we have Rob and we got Roll. It's a roll call, brother. And then we got
roll call.
And then we have our spot
Prodigal
reporter.
Son?
Prometheus has returned, but he's in San Antonio today. He's on location.
That's right.
He could not be contained. He could not be contained.
It's Hallowfest.
It's Hallowfest. That's right. If anybody is in Texas,
we got here right at the gate opening.
Explain where you're at, Will.
I'm here in San Antonio, Texas, at the famed Fiesta Texas, Six Flags Fiesta Texas, home of the Wonder Woman Golden Lasso roller coaster.
5 Flags. Sorry, no, there's a flag they tried to get rid of, so I don't know if technically they're Texas flags all over, whatever. But yeah, no, it originally was called the Six Flags. Is it still called Six Flags?
Yeah, it's a Six Flags because they have Six Flags everywhere for some reason.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Do they prominently?
Oh, his members only pass.
Do they
prominently? Diamond. I didn't want to splurge on the diamond. I did the platinum. I have 4 kids. I mean, 3.
And you got comic books to buy.
I got plenty of comic books to buy, man.
Let me ask you this. Do they prominently, because before when you would walk into these establishments, they would have the flags prominently, excuse you, Will. They would have prominently the flags. So they have the Rebel flag still up there.
Is that, you know what? I didn't take a look at them, but I did see flags.
We will send Will on an investigative trip to see if, no, I'm just kidding. We're going to send you all over. It's like, this should have been Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Last week we did Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, and we were all over Magic Mountain and talking about that film. And it's funny. It's like every week we're going to visit all these parks, and then we're going to send Roland.
We're going to send Will. Oh yeah, I'll go to Magic Mountain.
He's going to go to the actual Magic Mountain.
Look for Abner Devereaux's 150 feet down below lab.
And I'll just park out in Flower Bluff in front of what used to be Magic Isles and pretend that I'm at Magic Isles. First minute news here at Rip Comic Podcast. What we just saw this past week was Chadwick Boseman from last week. We had mentioned they showed the cover for Spawn 311. You had your color cover, and you had your black and white cover. Now, I don't know where you stand on this one, Will. Chadwick Boseman's Spawn 311 sells 150,000 copies. Now the jury's out is if Crossover will meet or match that this coming week with the FOC coming to a close this Sunday. Do you have a feeling about the marketing of Chadwick Boseman's passing in this manner?
I think it's a great tribute. It needs to be done. It's timely. It's timely. We had a person that really took the character of the Black Cat and made it his own, and I think that he really drove the comic book industry sales, and so I think that the publishers and all them should do a tribute to Chadwick. And as far as reaching that number of books sold, I don't think Crossover will do that. I just don't think so.
Okay, let's just put that out there right now. Roland, just on the Crossover, do you think Crossover will reach that mark? That's a pretty high mark for any comic book. And I know most of the time new comics, that is why they end up coming out with 20, 30 various different variants for a number 1 issue, and that is to achieve marks of that nature. Do you think Crossover will achieve that mark, 100,000, 150,000?
I know that they've been pushing the marketing for Crossover, and I mean that was the reason I was able to get that poster from the comic book store, because I've been asking. They don't usually send promotional stuff, but they sent Crossover. So to me, they are really trying to push Crossover. Is it going to meet it? Well, maybe with, you know, Donny Cates being a part of it, I mean, it's kind of like their own little super team of storytellers here that they're putting together. So, I mean, I don't think it's gonna do the 150, but I think maybe the 100.
Yeah, I'm thinking pretty much in between. I don't think it's gonna hit the 150 mark. I don't even know what Department of Truth hit, and there was a huge blitzkrieg of social media for that book, and it's still, even their second printing, it hit that mark where they're actually doing second printing with foil and all this kind of stuff. Lots of covers. I think Donny Cates is great. I just don't know, without Venom or some of that marketing of what just having the Marvel imprint, I don't know if it's going to get that 150,000 mark. I know that they're really eyeballing that. Maybe comes a little bit under 100,000. I think if they were to get a strong 75,000, I think they should be very proud of that imprint. I mean, I think it's going to humble Cates and company, because I know that, you know, when you come in with all that clout, you're kind of like, you know, you're swinging a big stick and, hey, man, we're going to hit those marks. But you got to admit, you know, Todd McFarlane is still, you know, Todd McFarlane. So I think it's going to come under 100,000. Now, there is a quote in this story.
I saw it, and I just saw it.
You saw it at the very bottom here. There's been discussions
yeah.
among Black comic book fans asking who would buy such an obvious cash grab. And the answer is basically all in their uncles. And I mean, don't get me wrong. When we first saw the cover to Chadwick Boseman, the Spawn 311, we thought, man, this is badass. And then it kind of started sinking in a little bit. You know.
Yeah, we talked about that. Because you start reading into it, and it's like, oh, you know, again, yeah, he should be. They should do tributes to him, but I mean, to put him on the cover of a comic that he had nothing to do with, and none of the money that they're making from this issue is going to cancer research or his family or anything like that. So, I mean, it's basically, you know, oh, he's the hot tribute right now. I'm gonna do and so it's one thing to just do the one tribute, but then to want to come out with the black and white version afterwards, I mean, that's just, you know, McFarlane being McFarlane, and, you know, he's the Gene Simmons of comics.
Well, I'm just going through, while my brother's talking, where I'm going through some of the covers of that are available for crossover one that were just announced within maybe this past week, to kind of you know, produce more sales for the book. There's at least 8-10 variants that I've seen listed, and that's not even talking about the specialty stores. Is there any other comment that you'd like to give? There's also, I'm showing the Department of Truth second printing issue for number one. It's a variation on the colors. There's more red markings. It's kind of like almost an inverted coloring that they had before.
Why are people buying crossover? What is the pull for that book?
I honestly,
the team behind it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like Donny Cates. You know what it is? Like LeBron James coming back to Cleveland, and I got my team back, and we're gonna go try to win something. In the past, he was, you know, very independent. Didn't, you know, not even in a major imprint. Then he went into Image. He was doing baby teeth with somebody. He did Redneck, and then eventually, yeah.
Is it about the story? I mean, what's so significant about crossover?
Well, I mean, from what I've heard, they're trying to do something different than has not been done, and that's kind of a hard thing to say about a comic book. But there have been some reviews from various individuals that have been collecting books upwards to 40 years and stuff like that, and they're saying that the way that they actually managed to put this story together, which is kind of a bold, maybe they're trying to get the little, you know, the tag for like the quote of the day or something, but a lot of them are saying it's a very unusual way to tell a story.
You know, in my opinion, that's the real. I have not read the book, so I really can't comment on the writing. But to me, that's the real cash grab right there. You're bringing over a quote unquote hot writer to a new book. So you bring all the collectors out to want to grab that first book and sell and sell and sell that book and make a lot of money on it. To me, that's a cash grab. Chadwick Boseman, on the other hand, they did it for Stan Lee. I don't have a problem with it. Even if Spawn, if he wasn't a Spawn, a fan of that book or McFarlane or whatever, he still was or is the Black Panther till today. He still is. So I don't see the cynicism I don't see the same cynicism as some people do for that portrait of him on those comics. So with that said, the real
Stan Lee had a relationship with McFarlane. He actually knew him, so I could see having a Stan Lee tribute. But I mean, as far as
I don't even just for point of reference, he never came out with Stan Lee on the actual cover of a book of Spawn.
Right.
Now I do know that Marvel, when Stan passed, they put the banner, but they didn't knowingly sell those books beforehand with the banner. They found out after the fact, and it was strange because some people wanted those covers, and when they finally came out with that banner, just like Chadwick Boseman, some people were like, wait a minute, what's this going on? Because the covers were promoted, all
without it.
Yeah, and some of them were pretty amazing covers, and then they were like, comic book stores were left to send messages out like, oh, we're sorry, we didn't know what books were gonna have it, and stuff like that. And so you ended up with kind of a souvenir kind of a issue. But that's what Marvel has handled it the exact same way in both instances. With Stan Lee, they presented a banner, and then with Chadwick Boseman, they present with the same banner.
See,
Todd McFarlane just put the dude right on the thing, and he's not even associated with the company or whatever.
And the only reason I would think that crossover isn't the cash grab is because, I mean, the hype is for the story, not for a gimmick cover. I mean, and to me that's what the cash grab. It's gimmicky. It's like back in the day.
To me, it's not about the story. The reason people are buying the book is because they have a hot writer on a new book.
Exactly. Okay. So, but it's for the writer. So it would be for the story. I mean, but you can say anything's a cash grab.
What I'm trying to say is, I don't think that I'm speaking in my opinion. A lot of people collect books because of the artwork, the cover, the design, whoever's doing the artwork, and of course the writer. In this case, we have a writer who's up there with great artists doing covers. So with that said, I don't think it's for the story. I think people are looking for, I got to get that first print of that book and the variant of that print and put it in my collection. That's why I think that's why I think that book will do well. Not as well as 100,000, but it will do well. That's just my opinion. And therefore I'm a little cynical when it comes to that. So
I think right there is a good point right here, because we're doing a lot of speculating on the final FOC, and I'm pretty sure there'll be a story that comes out. I mean, I thought it was crazy that even Forbes magazine was talking about crossover. I thought that was interesting. But you know what? In all fairness, we'll wait till that book comes out, and I believe that book does come out in November. So we'll actually dig in to crossover when it comes out, and we'll kind of read it and see if it holds up to the hype that is going on, because that's what we've been doing with some of the books too. We've been looking at, well, why is INKBLOT doing this, and why is Department of Truth and all that, and we're kind of digging into a little bit, so that way we'll revisit crossover when the book comes out for sure, because obviously it is still a hot topic. And that was the Young Guns series of artists, which a lot of people always seem to wait to find out, because these are going to be variant issues throughout the year coming up that you'll see like, hey, Young Gun cover art on Avengers, or Young Gun art on Hulk, or whatever. Well, they're now calling it Stormbreakers, the next generation of elite artists.
The Rat Pack.
Yeah. So the thing is, what struck a lot of people was, okay, well, I'm reading Amazing Spider-Man 49, and Amazing Spider-Man 49 is done by Patrick Gleason. He's been doing comics for, you know, almost a decade or so of stuff, but he was actually named to this group. And then Marvel kept posting everywhere. This isn't a new group anymore. It's just people they want to kind of spotlight. So a lot of people were in question, like, okay, so they basically wanted to change the name of that particular grouping. So these are the guys and women, men and women, that have made the list.
The only name that sticks out is, for me, is Peach Momoko. They call me mainstream, call me that, but she's the one. If you want to put Stormbreaker, just put her face on there. She's the one that's doing it all. These other individuals and artists are great. In general, real quick, it's Peach Momoko, who's really tearing it up this year. 2020 was her year, dude. She's everywhere. I personally like her work, but she's getting it's just getting a peach. I'm getting peached out a little bit with her, but she's hot. You know what I'm saying? She is hot. And you know why she can do so much work is because she's young. She's a young artist, and she could do it. And I'm still waiting for my Peach Momoko signed that I ordered from Golden Apple, 3 or 4 months ago. And it's said that it's my book is in Japan getting signed right now, and I'm waiting for it to come back. But other than that, yeah, it's Stormbreaker. She's the Stormbreaker. That's my opinion.
I'm not too. Again, you know, I'm getting back into the comic scene again. So you know, I know the classic, you know, people that are working on it. So I'm still getting used to some of these new people, unless you're talking about, like you were saying, Patrick Gleason. Now, has he been working for 10 years in Marvel?
A little bit everywhere. The thing is that,
okay.
and that
Well,
he's been the one that a lot of people have actually were like puzzled, because when they announced the list, a lot of people were still associating it with the Young Guns and were like just completely bypassing. They just thought, oh, we're just changing the name, but it was the same set of rules, because Young Guns was like, these are your up and coming artists and writers and all this kind of stuff. And lo and behold, you end up, you know, with something completely, you know, something different or whatever the case may be. And then people were citing, man, this dude's been doing, it was like, hey, great guy, great work. Can't wait to see your stuff, even though I've been seeing it for the last 10, 12 years. You know what I mean?
Okay. And that's what I'm asking, because if he wasn't doing Marvel, then it's just like in wrestling, how, you know,
circuits.
If you're a wrestling fan, you know, some of the people in other, you know, like when AJ Styles came out in WWE, I had known about him for years, but they were like, oh, you know, this new guy. But I mean, he's been wrestling. You know, he's new to them, so I mean, you're going to promote them as a new talent. I mean, he may not be new to the game and up and coming. I mean, heck, how many actors have, you know, it got until they were 50 until all of a sudden they became a hot item.
Humphrey Bogart.
So
just kidding. No, but I know. And the thing is that some of us, you know what? They should feel fortunate that they were able to see this dude's artwork before he was given this title, and instead of coming with this raft. To me, it's like, hey man, this is awesome that you're getting this thing. Now you're going to get even more noticed, and there's going to be more books that you go across that will actually people be able to see your artwork and stuff like that. You know, but that's the way you get your name. You do the work. Mm-hmm. You work on different titles, and eventually they'll catch on, and then, you know, you end up with one of these achievements and stuff like that. Robert Kirkman has a animation that's going to be coming out on Amazon Prime. We saw it yesterday, or maybe before. We were seeing it pop up on the internet, and everybody was waiting to see, you know, what all of this was about. So you know, we have seen this before. So any thoughts on this, Roland? To me, I see a lot of stuff that is it seems familiar, the artwork style.
That feels like a very 90s, early 90s, or late 90s, or just 90s comic book animation. You know, with the X-Men, Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four, you know, Wildcats.
Yes.
It's that certain cartoon style. You had that certain action cartoon style, like, you know, a lot of comic cartoons have, like, they'll pick that art director, you know, that decides the style of it. But this is very, you know, it wasn't always like that. You know, like I said, when you had X-Men, the certain Marvel ones in the mid to late 90s, you had that almost same look. And this one has that very same feel to it. But I mean, he's always been kind of, I mean, that classic timely look. I mean, just like, you know, I think with his that new, anyway,
firepower. Yeah. What everybody's known him for was mainly Walking Dead, and he's done these more. I guess they seem more serious. They're not as superhero esque, like, you know, like what you would, like what you would see maybe in some of the Marvel stuff, or maybe even in the 90s and stuff. And I guess they had been bouncing this around that they were coming out with some kind of animation, and hopefully this is the door that is now open, that is going to allow just these other imprints, or maybe it opens the door to even other comic book artists and their titles and stuff like that, so that we would see more of this kind of proliferation of shows that might pop up on your Amazons, your Hulus, your Netflix, and stuff like that as well.
I didn't look this up, but is this Kirkman's animation company that's doing this?
I didn't look that up either. I mean, this was a teaser, and they were trying to gear it up. I mean, they're going to have a talk, I guess, this weekend for Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, which is actually happening right now. Unfortunately, our on-the-spot reporter will not be able to give us a breakdown of the things that we need to know. We will look more into that, because I don't think this series comes out till 2021? Yeah, so there's still some, yeah.
I asked that because Kirkman does have an animation company, and I've kind of heard about it, but then there's a mobile game that I play, Summoner's War, that they put out that they were working with his animation company to create some type of animated content for their game. So that's why when I saw that, I was like, oh, is this some of the stuff that they're going to be doing, like, you know, his own comic, or you know, what is it they're planning on doing? But I'll end up looking up on that.
Yeah, we'll definitely take a look at that. We'll try to find out more information. I'm getting a report here that is coming across the wires that the Last Ronin, Kevin Eastman, actually is throwing up some kind of new variant or something in regards to the Last Ronin, which is the long anticipated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle story. I guess it takes place in the future, and there's like one turtle, and
but nobody knows who it is yet, right?
Well, there have been people dissecting a certain photograph and then the weapons that he's holding.
But yeah, that one picture, he has all the weapons.
Right. But if you got to look closely, he's got the masks, colored masks tied. Now, I don't know if they've manipulated that, but you see, yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't think it's a colored comic. I thought it was their usual black and white.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Somebody put an artwork. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if somebody's manipulating the thing a certain way or whatever. But
cash grab. It's a cash grab.
Yeah, the black and white version, the color version.
They're using the turtles.
The rainbow version. Anyway. So we're definitely looking forward to Robert Kirkman's Invincible. We might see Unbreakable in there, and we might see Glass in there.
Clay Aiken of Invincible.
There you go. And Invincible, the other Invincible, which was Marky Mark as a football player.
Yes.
There you go.
Eagles.
That would be such an amazing. It's just so
cash grab.
Yes.
Using the hot actor of Mark Wahlberg. Okay.
That is our first of the minute comic news for Rip Comic, and so that's going to take us into. All right, there's Will in a mask. He looks like he might be ready for surgery, but.
Oh, now you can hear me.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Okay, cool. Hey, guess what I have here?
Uh-oh, what's that?
Oh, Flash Gordon, the Hawkman rocket cycle.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm here at the at Fiesta Texas. Yeah, I got a couple more things to tell you real quick. Hold on 1 second. I didn't bring my headsets with me, man. And it is hot today. Check this one out. One of my favorites.
Nice.
Then behind me we got Lightning McQueen in the back, and we have the Men in Black.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I just got here, and my daughter took me on the first ride, and I hadn't been on a roller coaster in so long, man. It was like I made it through. I told her we'll do more rides, but we got to pace them out. We can't do them all at one time, you know.
Yeah, not like it used to be.
You know, I kept up pretty good until the last corkscrew, man. The last corkscrew really did it for me. Well, here at Fiesta Texas in San Antonio, they have a couple of rides. It's a DC themed oriented. So they have the Wonder Woman, the Lasso ride. They also have the DC Joker ride. They all, you know, it's pretty much all DC here.
And Will live stream with us on Zoom on these rides to show firsthand perspective of what it's like to be on
that would be great. Honestly, that would be great. I want to do that. I see if I can get away with it.
Well, don't you need one of those little fancy little thingy things on your?
So anyway,
it's like a ring pop on your phone or something.
Yeah, something like that. So anyway, I just want to let you know that I did pick up a cool comic this week.
I heard you picked up 24 cool ones, but
from the New York Comic Con.
Oh, you got one of those.
I picked up two of those Snake Eyes Dead game with the action figure, like how, you know how they used to box them back in the day in the 80s, where they
it has that very iconic artwork of what the characters used to be packaged with. And Lightfield did that one, if I'm not mistaken. I think.
Yeah, that's very nice. And I want to let everybody know they still have plenty of comic. And if you're a collector for investing, there's some books there that are selling under what they're selling for on eBay. So you might want to check it out. I just found out this company called Reed, R-E-E-D Pop. Reed Pop is the one who, I guess, puts all the conventions together and does the merchandising for it. And it's called Reed Pop. So if you want to go to shop.reedpop.com, I believe that's what the URL is, you can go there and see what they have in store. No pun intended.
No, it's cool. You know, see, there's hurricanes going on in Louisiana, and our thoughts and prayers go out to our friends and neighbors. And then we have Will Diaz being our Joe Cantori in Fiesta Texas, braving the pandemic stricken town. And but he's there.
The heat of San Antonio.
Is that Knight Rider behind you? Looks like Knight Rider.
It would be Kit.
Oh,
that's Night Industries 2000 for you.
Oh, there you go.
You uncultured swine.
Yeah. No, that's very cool though. We're getting bonus coverage.
Got a little bonus coverage. Let's see if I can go over here and I'll show you what's going on in front of me.
This is all pre-game show. We're gonna talk to the two coaches momentarily.
Yeah.
So tell me what's going on. What do you got on the agenda for today?
Well, hopefully we're gonna start this show.
Woo!
It's a joke. All right, let me just go ahead and get the formal start going. That way you can get your next portion. But we got some news, and then we got some New York Comic Con. We'll be dashing that in and stuff. Drum roll. we're gonna
the New York
dig.
Comic Con. Oh, that's right.
Yes, you didn't get that memo. You didn't get anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into the Chadwick Boseman money grab banner top.
Show my screen. Just take that off real quick.
There you go.
There we go. With the cash grab.
There you go. But they didn't
No,
tell
oh,
anybody.
that's right. That's right. Black Panther is part of Marvel. So, okay. No cash grab.
Right. No cash grab. No cash grab.
No cash grab.
We're going to have to
No
put
cash.
like a series. Cash grab?
Yep.
No cash grab.
Or you know what? We'll do that meme. We'll have that person. Is this a cash grab?
Oh, geez. And then you'll see that guy going, money, dollar, money.
Yep.
Money. There
like
you go.
My beaver spawn.
Oh, yes. See
and,
that?
And that's actually
Don't let him see that, dude.
Picture.
Don't let him see that one. He'll take it from you.
It is yep. So X of Swords
Part 3.
Part 3.
This Roland had read 2 books leading up to this, minus the mysterious vampire number 5 that has eluded him like Nosferatu. And he will be looking for that one later. Yeah. But since this is actually in your pool, go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you thought of Part 3 of X of Swords. Before you get into that, should you have known Part 1 and 2 before going into Part 3, or you can figure out what's going on?
Well, I mean, when I realized that, I'm pretty sure those first 2 were the 4 Horsemen and then Magic doing her sword. Not really. I mean, I'm actually kind of glad that I got to skip over that. Because I read the Wolverine, and I thought it was told very well. It got me kind of happy. The new Paul Mitchell Salon Selective guy, though, I don't know. His character is very. I mean, it reminds me of kind of Deadpool in the beginning. Oh, you know what? They went the He-Man route because how He-Man and Skeletor have one half of like this. Yep. Oh, we must be arch enemies or best of friends.
Deep down, the book is a good read. I really enjoyed it.
Right.
I really liked it a lot. Saying. Yeah, we're kidding around, guys, but dude, the setup and everything that they're doing in this book. But obviously, we were carefully looking at how do you establish this guy as the next arch nemesis, and like Roland said, they probably pull it right out of He-Man in a way. I mean, you got okay, but also it's like kind of a little bit of the Knoll kind of thing. I've been away for 100 years in a hole.
I mean, and then again, I mean, so these 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse are the first 4. These are the original final 4. And so that's where right there that shows me that Paul Mitchell has only been he's only been in that jail for 100 years, but
right,
he's been around for a lot longer if he's supposedly the grand. I mean, it's very convenient how, you know, everything is playing out. I mean, the only connection, like I said, is I mean, I don't know. That he already knew to wear adamantium clothes.
Yeah, I've got skin of adamantium. Yeah,
and his speech patterns remind, you know, I've read, you know, I remember reading the progression of writing in comics throughout the past 20 years, but reading this, they wrote him very 90s.
Yeah,
his dialogue is very, I don't know, self-serving. I don't know. I mean, again, outside of Salon Selective, I liked it because I liked the story of, you know, the getting the blade and how he knew him, and they keep doing the comparison about the past. And overall, though, you know, I'm liking the story, but some of these little side views is kind of distracting, or I mean, to me, it doesn't fit. It's like, oh, this is in hell. Oh, by the way, here's the file on hell. Overall, though, Wolverine #6, I enjoyed it.
Cool. No, I did as well. I actually, every time I was reading, I go, man, I wonder what my brother's going to think. I wonder what he's going to think about all this stuff. Now, did you get a chance to read the X-Force?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
And
so, and again, that's where it goes more. So when I thought the Wolverine had a bit of 90s feel of his dialogue, it confirmed it when reading this one. Again, the overall story continued on from Wolverine 6, and they're, again, conveniently having two swords, so they don't have to kill one another just yet.
Just yet.
That's what's binding them. So that's the bind, the swords, for the fact that they were both chosen to get this sword, which means like he's saying, oh, are we friends or enemies? Who knows? I'm going to help you, though, because you helped me. I like it fancy.
He's a fancy guy.
But seriously, I mean, it's the forceful, you're going to take it. This is, oh, nope, too bad. They both are, because each sword that they're picking in this X of Swords thing is, it's like it's for them. It's not just, hey, go get the sword. There's a connection.
So, yeah,
where's his muscles?
What?
We use our muscles to move our skeleton. But Wolverine can use his skeleton so why does he have muscles if his skeleton is I don't understand
how that stuff regenerates, right? If it is completely stripped entirely off and that's adamantium, whatever, how does it grow back?
Well, no, actually, okay, so the adamantium is
living
on, no. It was coated all over his bones. That's what the whole process of Weapon X was.
Okay.
So,
but it's not vacuum sealed.
But his DNA, I guess, is inside it, and that's why it grows. You would think that the healing process would shed said adamantium. Okay. We're going to go cross-eyed, so let's just...
Something is wrong with this picture. Anyway, overall, these two books, great together, part of the story, and it was so great. It took two of these books to bring in one character into the Circle of 10 compared to the other stories that we've done thus far. No?
And, of course, they dangle... Well, see, here's the thing. This is what connects them now. They never, and spoiler alert, the one thing that goes unspoken is the deal they made for Salon to bring him back. Is it 5-on-5? Because, Wolverine and Magic are waiting there. And then I read Marauders also. And that one has Storm in it.
Right, and then she pops up.
And even though supposedly for everybody Chadwick Boseman is Black Panther, T'Challa didn't look anything like Chadwick Boseman when I saw him in Marauders. So they cast somebody else already. Yeah.
So 2 thumbs up for X of Swords thus far. And for those out there, we are already up to chapter 3, 4, 5. We're up to chapter 5.
Chapter 4 was X-Force, and Chapter 5 was Marauders.
Right. And
so then next week, Hellions.
Yeah, Hellions and
New Mutants, and then Cable.
And whatever that other book is. Anyway, so it should be an X-Men. Yeah, X-Men, and isn't there another book too?
Do they explain
what all that crap is?
What these Pokemon are, the unknown?
I don't know. Use your phone.
I'm using it right now.
QR codes. That's what they are. I don't know.
I just unlocked this Pokemon.
I unlocked Salon Select. So
Marvel Sight Beyond Sight.
There's at least 5 of the X of Swords out there. in your local comic book shops in some shape or form. I'm pretty sure you might be able to find the first opening chapter creation. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're going to find New Mutants. It's going to be real tough getting the Wolverine and X-Force. You might be able to find Marauders, but they're out there. You guys have a chance to go pick those up. Definitely go visit your local comic book shops today. Today's Saturday. It's always a great time to go to the comic book shop, visit with your stores, and find out
Social
what they
distance.
have. Social distances. And visit your local comic shop or shops. And then that way you can make friends, and then that way you're ready for the next, 16 books or however many it is to go. And you'll be ready.
But the importance is making friends.
Yes, making friends. Because we know how they have your back, don't they? Anywho, now we saw part 1 of INKBLOT. What is it? Almost 3-4 weeks ago, I believe. Man, it was almost like yesterday that we were talking about this book. Now we're at issue 2. This is a chance for us to let the dust settle from all the social media blitzkrieg, and let's dig into number 2. Where would you like to start on this? Because I know that you had some questions in regards to, like, well, what is driving this book? What is the real, what is really driving this particular piece as it is right now, just on the surface?
Well, I still don't know. I read INKBLOT number 2, and it starts off with the character from the first issue just having a narration of going, I haven't seen the cat. I'm pretty sure it's not getting into any trouble. And then the cat, it happens to be in trouble. So it's like, we're going to go across all the realms that we're talking about, and the cat happens to be an integral part of everything. So it's like the movie you're saying, I remembered it.
Cat's
you remember
Eye.
the name, Cat's Eye. And so really, it's a mix between Cat's Eye and the dumb luck of Scooby-Doo. The cat has nothing to do with anything, but because of something the cat does, changes the direction of these people's lives. But again, I'm thinking this is the quantum leap, I guess, where the cat's going to be integral part in all these other dimensions and realms' lives. Again, I mean, to me, yeah.
And Ziggy. Meow.
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 Meow. Yeah.
Meow.
I'm just waiting for him to go to one realm or her and start driving, so it could be like Toonces.
Oh, I love some of the action in there. I love the way
flashy.
the dragon. Right. I love the way that they would play out the words of the sound effects. I loved how the character was leaping and then the fire and all that kind of play. It was I liked it. I like that. But it was like just inadvertently the cat ends up becoming C-3PO and becoming the master of this universe.
The way of the cat.
Yeah, and so we'll let you kind of read that adventure and figure out how the cat ends up having people.
That darn cat.
That darn cat. That's what I said in the first episode that we talked about this.
And there you go. And you're right. You're still right. It's like,
yeah, it's going to be like that. But everybody has a set amount of money to buy books. How many books does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? But it's going to get to that point. You're going to have to get to a certain number of books to capture that audience, because obviously name recognition alone is not going to do it. And that brings up that question about crossover. You know, is this an initial thing? Because these are ongoing series. These aren't mini series. These are books that they're expecting you to see these arcs. You buy into these arcs, which technically I don't see an arc at all in these 2 books. It's like 2 independent books right now. Anyway, so that was INKBLOT. It is that time.
That time.
It's that time that we're going to talk about
So we are going to rip into the other segment of my
We're going to
treasure chest.
rip the page.
Rip the page.
To my good friend of 30 years, 40 years.
It is time for my treasure chests. The segment where we talk about, pop culture, the stuff that we grew up with. Rob and I talked about this. So in his decade, his formative years of the 70s, you didn't really have the explosion of marketing in the 80s like I grew up with, where you turned around and everything had a serial or a cartoon associated with it to market their brand. I mean, you think about it, you look at, you look back at some of the cartoons that were happening in the 80s, and you look at who owned them, and it was Hallmark, because they were characters that somebody drew for these, theme of cards, and all of a sudden they said, hey, people like this, let's make shows about the Care Bears or My Little Pony or Get Along Gang or something like that. And it became
Smurfs.
Yeah. And so the Monchichis, it means happiness, but either way, you had, if you had anything, there was, C-3PO's cereal. There was all these different types of cereals, and we're going to get into that. But I just wanted to kind of bring out there because, like I said, when we came up with this idea, it was almost like, we're going to have to explain why we're talking about breakfast cereal, because
it was a next level of marketing. You could only go. I think it was all gloves were off when you started seeing, we got a whole cartoon series based on the selling of these toys.
Strawberry shortcake too.
Yeah, and it was like, wait a minute, if we can do that with that, we can just flavor it a different thing and put that on a box of cereal. Because usually some of these cereals tasted the same, except maybe the little characters were a little bit printed different, or they were the exact same and just thrown in a different box.
Saturday morning cartoons, kids eat cereal at that, and we want to, and it's funny because you were saying, like, in the 70s, if it was a cereal, usually had the word sugar before it. It's like, sugar pops, and
Yeah, everything was sugar bear, sugar smacks. It wasn't honey smacks, it were sugar smacks, super golden sugar crisps. They weren't golden crisps. And sugar bear and all these guys, sugar frosted flakes. We're talking about the word sugar was on the box of everything. The early days had rotating mascots of clowns, cowboys, I think alien or astronauts or something like that at one point or another. But then they started finding their wheelhouse. Lucky Charms is perfect. If you think about it, you got a guy and a leprechaun, but then you put all the magical, all the shapes, and they're marshmallows. It's the treasure. More sugar.
I remember telling my kids, I remember when the horseshoe was introduced. If you look at all the cartoons associated the mascots with these cereals, it taught intolerance and bigotry and bullying. It's like, hey, look, that Irishman has cereal. We're gonna take it from him. Oh, help me! They're trying to steal me Lucky Charms.
Yeah, and the Tricks Rabbit. They kept it away from him.
Like, sorry, son. You're in the wrong place. One of the first characters to change. It used to be Cookie Crisp with the Cookie Cop. And no, not before. It was a wizard. But I'm saying,
it was a wizard, yeah.
In the 80s, for me, it was the Cookie Cop and the Cookie Crook.
Yeah.
So, in the evolution of
the
only cereal that had consequence for you doing something wrong, they had a dog that was helping the crook, and then they got rid of the cop altogether. And then it was just the Cookie Crook and the cop, the dog. And it's like, wait, why do they not have a consequence for stealing?
No, they defunded it.
General Mills is doing a retro. They're going back to like some of their original recipes for these cereals because, the adults ate some of it and went, that's crap. What happened to the old stuff?
What happened to the good stuff?
And they realized that because of the way the school system is, the adults are still the only ones eating cereal because now the kids are like, that's not good for you. And
It's not good for you.
it's not, you're going to die, Dad.
What it be? Anyway, seasonally, during the October time, before October begins, like in that September, the monster cereals kind of make their way into all our stores. And it's not just grocery stores anymore. It's like the Targets, the Walmarts, and then you start to see the monster cereals kind of go all over the place. But
and speaking of monster cereals, the shout out to the person who commented they wanted to hear about Boo Berry, Mariela. I said we would shout out to the people who asked. So out of the monster cereals, Boo Berry, which for a while went away. Right. But I remember the Mummy because that was he was an addition. He was the fruity guy. But then you had, for a while, it
tasted like sherbet. I did not like it. It did not taste like the other guys. Yeah, but for the longest time.
Wait, no, let's go back to that. During guys taste?
Before it was seasonal, the only things that were available were Count Chocula and Frankenberry. And if you were lucky, you had both of those. If not, you just had Count Chocula. That was it.
And see, I remember
Boo Berry was
I don't remember the reason why, but Boo Berry went away for a while.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
I don't know if Navy.
For a while, when they made a resurgence, they did all of them. They did Fruit Brute for a while and Yummy Mummy and all of them. But then it went back to the 3. And, I can go to my Walmart right now and see the little displays, for the Halloween time of Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and Boo Berry.
In March of 1971, the first 2 cereals in the line were introduced, and that was Count Chocula and Frankenberry. The 2 monsters would engage in comic bickering over the cereal, and that's what the commercials were usually. But I did not know that they started in 1971. The mascot of Count Chocula is an inspiration of Bela Lugosi, and of course Boris Karloff is Frankenberry. In 1972, Frankenberry's cereal included an indigestible pigment that turned some children's feces pink. A symptom sometimes referred to as Frankenberry stool. The Count Chocula and Frankenberry recipes were reformulated to remove this pigment. So I guess that was
they put it back in.
We demand our feces to be colored.
Well, if you eat enough Crunchberry, Captain Crunchberry,
you're gonna get Crunchberries.
Comedians talk about it where I guess that's Crunchberry stool. I mean,
yeah, and then Boo Berry, the first blueberry flavored cereal was introduced December 1973. Fruit Brute came in 1974 and discontinued in 1982, and was replaced in 1987 by the Fruity Yummy Mummy, which was later discontinued in 1992. It just didn't taste like the other guys. And he was discontinued in 1992. Frankenberry and Count Chocula and Boo Berry appear seasonally, like we said before. And Fruit Brute and Yummy Mummy, I want to say within the last 6 years, have appeared as a retro throwback and have made their appearance as well. So we have seen those guys make their return in some shape or form, but only as a one-shot deal or something of that nature. So that's your history of those General Mills characters. They're older than I am. I was born in May 71. These guys came out in March 71. So, man, I'm as old as the stupid the General Mills monsters. Yeah. So I'm going to be the new Wolfman. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't taste like the other guys. You're going to be the new Yummy Mummy.
I'm the new.
That's going to stick with you now. You said it.
Oh, that soundbite is just going to go on. And it has to be the Solam Select episode of the program, too.
So I will put the disclaimer out there. I mean, somehow he was able to bring this to the show, the word cash grab today. That is what the cereal of my youth was, because it mattered to me and who was on the box. because as many of you know, before phones and tablets, when you ate cereal, you read the box. Like before there was nutritional facts, there was just all these different cartoons and like you were saying, there was some cereal that had comic books affixed to them. You know, you could cut out things in the back and send off for toys. There used to be toys in the cereal. I mean, and so it was like, you know, either you would be fair and whoever was pouring the cereal and it happened to come out, or you would start moving it around and finally nobody be around. You just stick your hand in there and try to find it, because it didn't even used to be in a plastic. It used to sometimes just be thrown in there. Then they started putting them in plastic, because I remember Rice Krispies and Frosted Flakes had the remember the submarines?
Yeah. The toys started in a way. I mean, of course, it had to have a cool box, but sometimes, in order for us to try one of these other cereals that we don't normally buy, and Mom and Dad would definitely question us and call us out on that. Like, you don't eat that. Yes, I do. I want those baseball cards that make the. Yeah, I have to have that baseball card that does that, or the record in the back of the box of cereal, or the baking soda submarine. You know what? Those always were on Captain Crunch or something of that nature.
Yeah, because of the naval thing. But I remember, I thought Frosted Flakes had one of them too. But yeah, and see, Captain Crunch had some really awesome toys, because they had their own toys sometimes. They would have the Sog Master or whatever, and the Soggies. Then you had video game cereal. You had cartoon cereal. So I don't know, the video game one is kind of small, so we can kind of jump into that one next.
Yeah.
You had, I remember the Donkey Kong cereal, the Pac-Man cereal. Then in the mid 80s, because those were the early ones, and in the mid 80s, you had a dual pack of Mario Brothers and Zelda, Nintendo.
Yeah, definitely. It was Nintendo driven. Special report.
We have special report. We have Kermit the Frog.
We're doing special correspondence with on the spot reporting
with the Invincible Man,
another indivisible character.
Yep, and Richard, the other missing component of this podcast, because again, I guess we're the constants, and every once in a while we'll have the wildebeest.
Who's out in the wild of San Antonio in the heat of the Saharan desert.
I do wish that I could have gotten a picture with that Hawkman rocket cycle.
Yes, the Hawkman rocket cycle. It'll be on tour soon to your area. Well, it's probably going to be camped down there for, I guess, all of October, I guess, because of whatever.
That's what I'm saying. But I would need to be on that with Jess behind me and me being like, I remember the Beatles. They couldn't take that away from me. Anyway,
Will's like, Flash Gordon. Yeah, yes, we need to do.
So, anyway. And I brought it up. We need to do a reading of the script of just you and I doing Flash Gordon with all the, just.
Special edition. It'll have to be a special away from the show, because we have normal fare, but we will do a special reading of Flash Gordon.
So back to the video games. You had
you know what? I mean, mom must have really got what you wanted, because for a long time we would get that dual pack of cereal. Like one side is one flavor, and then the video game cereal, split bags.
If you remember, I'm the baby of the family, and I got you had to make straight A's. I had to just pass to the next year.
So that dictated his cereal choosing.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember every once in a while I would get the original frosted mini wheats that were like this, and you had to.
Yeah, and I hated them. They were like logs. They were mini. You could either get the mini put it in your bowl, and you would get 3. But you like the big ones.
But I broke them in half.
taste like the other.
I would break them myself.
Yes.
And then they would fill up with ice cold milk and get all nice and soaked up. There was a method to eating those, and then I would eat them.
You know, when you eat cereal now, do you fill up the bowl of milk, or do you like do what Dad did and just put a little splash?
Splash. No, yeah, that's got milk because it forces me to put more shit in it.
Our father does not like milk.
No.
I did not know that you could drink milk with a meal until I got married.
I don't think he knew milk came out of women's. Migas.
Happy birthday, Dad, by the way. You just had a birthday.
Migas all over this. We're just going to cancel the show.
Last Monday.
This is going to be the last episode that will never be heard. Oh, my Lord.
This past Monday, I believe our father turned 74 years old.
Yes. Happy birthday, Dad.
And yeah.
In our own special way.
But growing up, did not know that we could have milk as a drink. It was just for cereal, I thought, or cooking and making eggs.
Yes.
But it wasn't until I got with my wife that when I ate with, we ate with like my in-laws right now. Like they all sat down, and with dinner they had glasses of milk, and I'm like, what is this? Where's the soda?
Happy days. Richie, would you like some more milk? Hey, Mr. C, I will take a glass of some milk as well.
And then their brother was standing in the doorway just bouncing a basketball, and then he walked away and never saw him again. That
was it. Yeah, just.
But so back to the cereal. Yes, my mother spoiled me more. I got the cereal. See, but I think we all got spoiled in different ways. Like we got the Kmart clothes, and Richard got the fancy clothes. It's like, well, we think Richard's the handsome one, so we'll get him to dress like for success.
He's got more of a chance.
Yes. For me, it was like, I'm like, Mom, what does husky mean? Oh, it just means you're big boned. And I found out later I was a fat kid. I was.
Why doesn't mine have an emblem or imprints on the pockets?
Why do mine have extra loops?
Those are plain pockets. Why do I got patches on the knees? I got pants with patches on the knees. What's that about?
Why do my pants have extra loops?
They got extra hoopy things.
But so I got my.
Why aren't my ankles covered? Why are my pants all the way up?
So I would get the cereals. According to my parents, every cereal was Post Toasties. It was like how we say, "Hey, do you want a Coke?" Yeah, here's a Sprite. I mean, that's how we call cereal for my parents in that age. Every cereal was Post Toasties, and it was like, "Oh, you want some Post Toasties?" I'm all, Frosted Flakes. That's what I said. Oh, okay. And then when we
pick some Post Toasties. Yes.
When we would get Rice Krispies, you'd pour just a whole bunch of sugar in it, and you would make sure that you can scrape it. Because then we had our sugar Krispies. So again, my dad, and later on talking to my dad, he never set these rules. My mom would just be like, hey, can we have that? No, your father doesn't like it. Oh, okay, but we wanted it. Nope. And
Nutter Butters, Nutter Butters, you don't touch the Nutter Butters.
Yep.
I'm just gonna.
There were certain things that
take one little wafer square. I'm just gonna take.
He'd wake up. The hell no. He was not.
Who's drinking my Delaware Punch?
Oh man. So, and we joke about this. My father was not like this, but my mom made it feel like my dad was like this, and that's what's funny about it. Okay, so just to let you guys know, my dad was not like this, but my mom made it seem that way. So, like I said, talking to him later in life, he was like, "I never said you guys couldn't eat that." And I was like, "Well, Mom said you didn't like it."
Rip roaring adventures. Anyway,
but
so
every
yeah. So you were saying, yeah. So you had Morning Funnies, video game cereal. We've had the monster cereals and their new counterparts that have appeared in the 80s after they've been rejected for being too fruity. And then
the Saturday morning cartoons.
Saturday morning.
Mr. T.
Oh,
Mr. T.
Yes.
cereal, which again, a lot of people will know this only because if they've ever watched Pee-wee's Big Adventure, because it was in there. But we used to get the cereal. This was a regular cereal that would be in our house. And I mean, I used to watch the TV show. It would have a live action segment of Mr. T talking about what you got to do, and myself, you got to run. There we go.
But he had a cartoon.
Yes. Yeah. There's the Jesus marshmallows you wanted.
Yeah, there you go.
It's cool.
It's cool.
It's cool.
Eat my teas.
Whoa!
Yeah, we used to watch that cartoon, unfortunately.
Yes, we did.
My team of acrobatics will jump all over your face.
And Cool's teaming up with a...
And
they're my team.
They
Darn
had the deleted one where they was like, if your wife wants some real cereal, tell her to come over to my house and I'll give her some.
Smurfberry Crunch. Now,
yep.
Yeah, it sounds the way it sounds, but I'm going to tell you this. I actually liked it. It turned your milk all pink. I think those were from the leftover.
Did it make your stool the Frankenberry?
I think it did. And it just...
These are the Frankenpoops.
This is all the Smurfberries making all your insides Smurfy.
Oh, that's... Yeah?
Yes. Too bad they don't sell that anymore. But Smurfberry Crunch was another one of those cartoon / items that did make its way into the cereal market.
So to me, it's a different experience because that's what the cereal kind of was. It was an experience for us. The different cartoon, like just the cartoons. And again, we tried a lot. We asked.
Did we ever eat the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Transformers?
Yes. I ate the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one because that's where I had the Michelangelo bowl. They actually had a bowl plastic wrapped in the cereal box.
That is right. I remember.
And so yes, I did get the turtle one. Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. There were so many that we had that it's
premiums.
That it was hard to remember. But yes, we had the teenage. They even had like a nerd cereal.
Dude, I remember that, and it would be like a nerd box, and you open one side or the other, and that was another 2-flavor nerd thing. Oh my lord!
But I mean, so
all kinds of stuff.
But see,
we were different. We were different. We weren't like regular stapled, like, oh, we're gonna eat this kind of cereal all the time. It's like the way it is with comic books, dude. Anytime the football season would start, we knew we were gonna see all the football premiums. If it was either cards or the baseball season, it was like the Hall of Famers, and they would have that motion kind of thing, or the special coins.
Oh yeah.
And occasionally you would get a record in the back of the actual thing. You peel off the record, and it was like and you put it on the...
I remember, I mean, they used to have like board games, and the pieces would be in the, but you would use like their character, but they would have a board on the back of the cereal. I think, of course, Captain Crunch.
Did we win that infamous Captain Crunch contest where we won you win the 100 board games or 10 games in a box, and then we won a cereal thing. It was 2 of us. It was us. And I don't know if it was Captain Crunch. And it was like, you won, and it was like the thing, and you look at the little prize thing, and it says, you won a box of 10 games.
So I have to say this, just even from our small conversation right here, I think the overall moral of the story is Captain Crunch overall was the best cereal with toys and taste. Because, of course, they used to have the peanut butter Captain Crunch, the Choco Berries or whatever, the peanut. And now you have to go to the store brand, and they sell them, though, now. Like, you can get s'mores cereal still. Yeah. You can get the peanut butter. It's like Captain Crunch, but it has the peanut butter chocolate berries.
I'm trying to get this.
O's.
Okay, we're gonna. There's like 30 of them. I'm gonna kind of zoom through them. If you want to comment as we went, did you ever eat these? Yes or no?
No.
All right,
no.
Dad wouldn't allow it. Rainbow Bright, Dad would have allowed it.
I still ate them.
You bought them in the house.
I'm pretty sure that
the secret box in the back.
Dad was in Houston
or Philadelphia.
Dad went on a trip. Yeah.
Pennsylvania. He was in Pittsburgh at the time. And it was just my calling to the Navy. We can sail the 7 seas. Anyway, Addams Family.
Yes. No.
I don't know. That was already too past. I wouldn't have not allowed my kids to eat chocolate with a bunch of whatever that is.
I'm sorry, just the name alone, Chuck. Yes.
Yes, yes. And all it was, if you look at those cereals, I'm sorry to say that's all that is every cereal that ever came up from that Ralston.
But it's also
Ralston
Captain Crunch.
Yeah, it's across Captain Crunch / let's go back even farther, / King Vitamin. That's probably what it was. It was the secret way for the king to rule. And we ate the crap out of this, dude. I remember eating this all the time, and it was anyway, yes.
We got those.
Oh God, it tasted shitty. I don't know. I don't think it was. I know we got it multiple times too. You must have loved the peanut butter. It's ET turds. That's what it is.
Pretty much.
It's fingers. You're eating his finger. Is that what that is? Oh no, they're ETs. ETs. 2-grain cereal, fortified.
That's what we would use. Never mind.
Honeybees.
Yes. And that was my kids. Yeah.
For some reason, I think I remember either that or it was just those little honey.
It says 2002 to 2006, so yeah, it's when my older kids were little.
Ghostbusters.
Yes. Okay. Yes, we actually got that a lot. Mom would get those. Yes.
And it's that Ralston brand. Ralston. I think just Ralston itself knew how to market the crap out of toys and cereal and cartoons. It was just, and they all had that familiar taste. If you had one, you're like, tastes a little bit like Nerds or Rainbow Bright.
Again,
or
we did get that a lot. We did get the Ghostbusters cereal a lot.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that one quite a bit at the house. Gremlins.
Yes. We got it. We got that maybe twice, but we've got those before because again, it had the same taste as the Batman ones.
I think I remember the stickers. I think I remember the Gremlin stickers. I think I do remember that.
That Christmas movie. Yeah.
Yes.
Nope.
No high school musicals.
No.
I don't think I remember seeing this one.
Richard probably got it.
This probably was during the Ang Lee time. Bad marketing.
2003.
Yeah. What about this? You ever try any of this Jurassic Park stuff?
No.
No.
Surprisingly enough, no.
Magic. For some reason, I want to say yes. I think maybe my kids. My kids had that.
Once, Johnny.
That
would not have been a lot. Well, no, it's 2003. I never saw it. I never saw it either.
You might have had to go into Nickelodeon and the game show to get that one. And there you go.
Yes.
The infamous Smurfberry Crunch.
Very good.
I
remember that was one that I remember you like. We were getting it because Robbie wanted it. Robbie wanted it. If Robbie wants it, Robbie gets it.
It's the SBC, brother. The SBC crew. Woo! That sounds like a cartoon ready to happen, dude. The SBC crew. All they eat is Smurfberry Crunch and sing songs. Smurfberry Crunch is definitely one of those high on the list. Just letting everybody know that is very high on the list. There you go.
Yes, and that.
So looking at it, it's a mix of Chex and marshmallows. Is that marshmallows? What the hell is this? I'm interested.
I don't know, but I like how it says that just above Donatello's staff, it says no tropical oils.
No tropical oils. This is domestic. It's domestic, man.
We did get that, and like I said, that's where I got my Michelangelo bowl.
Yeah, the Michelangelo.
It was Raphael, maybe. It might have been both. We might have gotten two.
Yeah, it's the Last Ronin.
And that's how we were able to get my mom to buy that by saying, "Look, Mom, nope,
we got a real pirate for our Pirates of the Caribbean.
We have the real captain,
or we got a real pirate for our." Cereal. Anyway, Pokemon? Did you ever try this one?
Surprisingly enough, no.
Yeah.
I think I would have talked my kid into that.
And there you go. The double. And then all the offshoots that there were. They've had marshmallow variants of this, the Dino the Dino Pebbles and the
Yeah.
they've had all kind of
They even put
mix and
they
matches.
even put marshmallows in some of it.
You know, they put marshmallows in Frosted Flakes, dude.
I know.
What?
It's like what's the
Yeah. We couldn't put the goddamn word sugar on there, but we're gonna stick marshmallows in the stupid thing now.
But you know you oh nope.
No.
Wait. No. I mean, granted, I think I would buy that all day just to say, yeah, I got not donkey cereal.
Spider-Man. No?
Yes.
You did.
No, we
you
got
know
that
what?
once.
Dude, I'm
We got
looking at
that
that
once.
bowl, and that looks a lot like Teenage Turtles, brother. Look at the
I know.
checks, and it's just different shape of marshmallows. Or maybe those are the same shape. I
Look at
think
that
those are
cash grab.
turtles.
Who
Those are
drew
turtles.
that? Is that a variant cup? Who drew that? I'm trying to look at it as 95. I'm trying to look at because
Pegley.
it's not the
It's
animated.
Pegley. No.
That's not the animated. The Spider-Man logo is the animated series, but that is not how he looked in the series.
It says sweetened rice cereal.
Okay. Next. Nope. Get that. No.
I don't even think I have it. I don't even with my kids. I don't even think we had it. Now my kids would be able to tell me if that was ever in our house, but I don't know. Actually, I think they still sell this. No, it says 2007, unless it comes out seasonally now.
Yes. Yes, sir. We got those.
Yes, we don't fart around with mushrooms and marshmallows and what is in this? Just cereal?
Action stars.
Just stars.
Action stars.
Do you know what it is? It's dog food. Remember,
There we
Mom would
go.
say, "It's Crackling Oat Bran." It's Crackling Oat Bran all over. I remember I said, "Mom,
That's
buy me
cat
this."
food.
She's like, "That's cat food. You don't want that.
Yep.
It's gonna make you go to the bathroom. Dude, it has
But think
fiber in
about
it.
this.
It's got
But think
fibers."
about this. It's like Better Off Dead. That's how it looked when he put the cat food in his cereal. Like he
Yeah.
thought it was cereal. It looked like Crackling Oat.
And look, it's missing right here.
Yep. The box tops, baby.
He's buying his UFO as we speak. Oh,
Next.
my Lord.
Very good. I remember the. Yes, there we go.
Dun, 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 dun.
That was in our house a lot.
Yeah, and that basically right here, just press your new flavor, and Ralston is there for you. Oh, bats,
Yep.
bloop. Oh, Donkey Kong, bloop. It's the same thing, just new logo. It doesn't matter what it is.
But you know what? We didn't just eat it because of Batman. It just tasted. It was that taste. It was good. We ate that a lot in the house.
I could go after the Joker.
I'm pretty sure you would eat that a lot when you were like neglecting your brother. Like, brother, will you be my friend?
Or hatching a new plan.
Batman's-
How can I get him to buy a Joker for me?
Yeah.
I never had this.
Nope.
They don't even look real.
Peanut butter. I know. This is fake. Fake news.
Fake news.
Next. Cash grab. Nope.
No, see, that goes into the
Limited
same
edition,
thing. But
no.
donuts, I don't recall any of this.
They're Cheerios. They're freaking Cheerios.
See,
See, I hope they're not like ranking these because to have these up
Right.
front, this is bull.
oh, sold exclusively at 7-Eleven.
Well,
Okay, who buys
Next.
cereal at 7-Eleven and wants to pay $7 a box for 7-Eleven cereal? Okay, next. Now, I do
Yes.
remember this. I do remember this.
yes, I got those, and I used to watch the cartoon. The first season, all three of them were the original voices. That was Keanu Reeves, Bill Winter, and George Carlin in the first season of that cartoon.
Those look strikingly like G.I. Joe with the notes look like Teenage Turtles.
Yep. Which means, do they have a Back to the Future? There we go. Talked about that. We got that a couple times, didn't we?
Yeah. We were in that little Star Wars kick. Yes. It was pretty generic. I don't know what shape that is. Just I don't know. The eyeballs? I don't know. It's like some kind of I don't know. It says
See,
free
but 84 to 87, that was off of the
after
not
Return
only
of
well,
Jedi.
yeah, but not only that, but don't forget they did the Droids cartoon.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, maybe that's when it was, but it's not that direct of a tie-in.
Right, but at the same
C-3PO.
time, at the same time at this, they also had the Pepperidge Farm Star Wars cookies.
They had the cookies, the Petridge Farm, the
People,
Petridge
people,
cookies.
people don't remember. Oh, you know what? And I totally forgot to look for the superhero, super friends, graham cookies.
Oh, they could be found. And then, of course, Mr. T. We already talked about him.
And we did. And again, I'm telling you, we ate them. They were like Captain Crunch, but I think that's more remembered because of Pee-wee. I pity the fool, don't eat my cereal. And you come at the pancake. And then he gets the bacon. Nom, 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 nom,
But no, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it reminded you of some of the cereals that maybe you were lucky to have. Some were not so lucky.
So, moving on to this upcoming week's picks.
I'm just.
Oh, that's my line.
That's more. No, go ahead, introduce it. I think that's awesome segue.
Yeah. So, and coming up is this week's hot picks by Robert. They didn't have Thundercat cereal, did they? Anyway, I thought of Robert Burbles. So anyway, Rob, what can we look forward to this upcoming Comic Wednesday?
Well, this Comic Wednesday, which is going to be the 14th, I wanted to start everything off with the Dark Horse comic in the race here. It's The True Lives of the Fabulous KILLJOYS National Anthem #1. And this is obviously the variant cover. Now, if anybody ever knows anything about me and comic books and independent stuff and, just off the wall kind of stuff, this is screaming to me that to pick me and get me and all this kind of stuff. It's a hodgepodge of everything that is what I would always get. I would always be the one getting the oddball comic, very much in the vein of Stumbling Across the Crow and Stray Bullets and, various books of that nature. And so, I'm not getting it because of Jared Way and the My Chemical Romance connection of this book. I really, truly think that the cover is totally fascinating. I'm in awe of the cover. But
yeah, but that's also, he also did Umbrella Academy.
Yes. So
right there, yeah.
Yeah, it says, after the analog wars, the KILLJOYS lost their way and their memories. A rat chews through Mike Milgram's TV cord and reality unravels. But when his Ramones records disappear, Mike remembers what the fabulous KILLJOYS and some toy ray guns can do. Jared Way and Sean Simon take it all the way back to their original concept, rebooting the KILLJOYS in present-day America, where it's impossible to tell what's real and what mom and dad just tells you just to keep calm. Like I said before, Jared Way of My Chemical Romance, the original inspiration for My Chemical Romance, Danger Days. There are regular, I think there's like maybe one other regular cover, but like I said, this just screams to me, if we were to kind of reboot maybe something that we had kind of worked on, I got a feeling I would, not that I could draw like this, but I would want it to have this vibe and look like this and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's kind of cool that they end up going back and rebooting something that they had long created back in the day.
To me, that artwork reminds me of like the Mad magazine artwork. A lot of great artists in Mad magazine, and there was a lot of like when they would do the parodies. A lot of those artists are just fantastic, and there was a lot of detail. And that's what that to me, it looks like an indie comic because, maybe they had enough time to just delve into their work like that. But, usually you don't see that kind of attention. I don't know how the inside looks. The inside could be totally different, but it gives me that rock and roll comic type feel. And
I'm going to let Roland read this next part. I'm going to get it booted up right here. And it is Amazing Spider-Man number 50. This is specifically the Vampire Hunter horror variant cover.
Last Remains starts here. The Amazing Spider-Man reaches another landmark, and we're celebrating Spider style. Spider-Man just took the beating of his life, and we're just getting started. Artist Patrick Gleason, part of the Stormbreakers, is back on Amazing Spider-Man, ushering the saga that is Last Remains. Kindred is stepping out on stage for the first time, and Spider-Man is not ready for the havoc that Kindred is going to let loose. Rated T+.
In shops October 14th, 2020. And it is a milestone issue. We just had a milestone issue this past week with Amazing Spider-Man 49/Legacy number 850. And now we're at number issue 50. Definitely, you want to go out, try to secure this one. It's a milestone issue. There's a lot of issues.
But it's the cover alone is honestly, and see, this is the only reason why I'm not going to buy it. I want to. I mean, maybe I'll buy a print to see if they sell a print of this cover, but this has nothing to do with what's inside the comic.
Unfortunately, he is correct.
Unfortunately.
So that's that Amazing Spider-Man. Now the next one that we have is this one. We checked this one, yes.
Yeah, you talked about this is October, so of course, just like how our man on the street, Will, is in Fiesta, Texas because they're celebrating the Devil's Holiday, Sam Hain, that they decided that a lot of the comics are going to have variants this month. And so this is the other one. And again, this one looks pretty cool too. I wouldn't mind a shirt of this. I mean,
the shirt, honestly, shirt would be wicked. Yeah.
A lot of these are a lot of these look great. Don't know what's going on in the story, so again, I wouldn't buy the comic. But
actually, Immortal. Well, this is the Living Hulk, so it's I don't know. Is it Immortal? But the book's called Immortal Hulk, so it's got a variation on the name. Check that out, Immortal Hulk number 38, but it's called Living Hulk. So, in the issue,
like the Living Dead.
Oh, there you go. Corey, he's been chained. He's been suppressed. He doesn't even know if he's real. But something is reaching through the green door. It wants to hurt Bruce Banner. And when you hurt Banner, the Devil Hulk takes it personally. So, yeah, they got some Devil Hulk shit going on in this one. So, but no, it's great cover. I think it would be an awesome shirt, even a poster. And to put right on the front door of a room. And
your mom, dude. Oh, wait. My mom.
My mom.
Yeah. So, no, go ahead. Tell him.
What?
They decided to put a door-sized poster of Eddie from Iron Maiden busting through the door. Well, that door was at the opening of my door because it was like adjacent and right next to it. And so that is what I would see because I slept with the door open. That is what I would see. And they had to they could leave it, but they had to put a pillowcase over the head so I wouldn't see, because it looked like Eddie from Iron Maiden busting through. I didn't mind so much the Stranger in Time version. It was him, shooting a hole through the door. But, yeah, that Eddie breaking through the door, and they purposely put it on the outside for me because that's how my older brothers are. We were the family that when we were driving, they would poke me in the ribs and pinch me, and when I would scream, I would get in trouble. Because then they would just look at me like, Roland. Yeah. So PTSD just from that. I'm that little brother that got picked on.
Yes. All right.
Right. Is this a Samuel L. Jackson? Wait a second.
And so we come to the fourth book of our Comic Book Wednesday, and it is Dracula, Mother Effer. And by Alex DeCampi and Erica Henderson.
So is this like the Blade prequel, like the movie Blade? Because
wasn't
it the vampire who?
There he goes.
Vienna, 1889. Dracula's brides nail him.
All right, that's all I need to know.
Yes, they nail him, and then because it takes place in 1974, we get the whole retro. That's what it looks like. It's this retro vibe of California psych horror from the acclaim creators Alec DeCampi and Erica Henderson. So it has that flavor all the way through it. It is a special It's a hardcover book, so the whole
So it's
story
almost
is
that.
contained in there.
So is it like almost that Black Dynamite feeling?
A little exploitation, kind of Blackula.
Oh, so this came
kind of
out.
stuff.
This came out already.
Yeah, no. It's brand new. It's brand new. It hasn't
Oh,
been.
okay.
Yeah, it's a graphic novel, and that's
but
what
it
I
says
like.
October 7th.
It says it's supposed to be in shops, but I didn't see anything technically in shops. I think
they're not gonna get that down here.
Well, that's why I put it as part of one of my lists. So maybe technically it probably shouldn't have been on that one, but it was in the releases of this one. See, you got to remember when they first make the pages, they don't change those dates. So a lot of when the pandemic happened, they're like, "Oh, it's supposed to be out July," and people are like, "July? Why is it barely coming out now?" Well, because of dates and all this kind of good stuff and all that. But that is Comic Book Wednesday. Those are the 4, and we'll just do a quick rundown of what those were again. The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, which will come out in Dark Horse. That was issue number 1. Marvel Amazing Spider-Man number 50. Immortal Hulk number 38. And Dracula, Mother Effer, hardcover, which might be a little bit hard to find, but if you end up finding it, I don't think you'd be wrong or to pick it up. I think it's also, there's a variant cover that's available in bookstores. So if you can't find it at your local comic book shops, try Barnes & Noble or Amazon. You might be able to get a variant cover, because it's a hardcover book, so it's in different slip cases and all that kind of good stuff. We wanted to establish a no slab zone. The books are open in this show. We open the books. We're reading the books. We're looking at the inside of the book. The inside of the book. Now, don't get me wrong. There is spec when it comes to covers and stuff. But when it all comes down to it and the whole thing comes crashing again, because it's happened before and it will happen again. You're going to have people that get fed up with like, oh my Lord, how much stuff. And it might happen this coming up. We were still in the pandemic and it's tight. Budgets are tight right now. That's why we're saying,
25 comics. Or was it 12?
Spider-Man had
12.
Yeah,
12.
Spider-Man had 12 variant covers, not including the specialty
$10.
issues. They were all $10 a pop.
People bought 2 copies of them.
Yeah.
Did they actually read them?
It's like Batman, the 3 Jokers.
Oh my gosh.
We talked about that before. You had a block of, it was almost 9 to 15 comics, and each book was like $6-7. So and that's not including the variants. That's not including the special variant issues.
And that's the important thing about like we were talking about I mean, I was willing to, I still am willing to rip up X-Force #1, all that crap, because I read it.
Did you read that G.I. Joe?
Nope. So,
dude, he does that same look when the face is like this and you got the line going across and all the rows of teeth, brother. He does it again. I was like, ooh, I gotta see Roland's account. I gave you the link. Check it out. So, but again, at no point are we shaming anybody who collects comics to invest. But for this show, what we're talking about, this is a no slab zone, a no sell zone. No one that ever comes on this show is going to try to sell any merchandise. We'll say, hey, go check out their page, go check out their store, but never are we going to show a comic and go, oh, by the way, but if you're interested, you can send me a link and I'll sell it. No, that's not going to happen on the show. Yeah. We're for the love of comics, and reading them and drawing, whatever. And again, there's nothing wrong with collecting to invest. There's any type of way, but if this show, we're not talking about investments.
We're talking about hot comics, and maybe it is for investment, but we're not going to have,
we're not gonna. We try not to focus on that. We try not to. Ooh, this comic was graded. Nope, doesn't matter. That means you'll never get to read it.
So we wanted to peel back the cover and rip it open, and let's take a dive into these books. Let's talk about what's going on in these books, because when you pull back the cover and you start getting into that, then you end up in a situation like what happened last week. You get a book that, wow, cover alone, it's $1 million. When you look in it, there was nothing in it. So we're going to take a hard look at some of these things. We're going to see if it is pull box worthy, because, but we just wanted to let you guys know, we really want to look into the books, and this is giving us an opportunity to open the book. Let's take a careful look into it and find out if it's something that we would, go into. We mentioned crossover. The jury's still out on that. Some people have read the book already, and they've got a good sneak peek, and they like it. But we're going to hold a lot of judgment until we actually start peeling back the cover and we dig into that in that book. A lot of expectations are happening right now. You got Donny Cates, you got Jeff Shaw, I believe, and you got all these guys that are attached to the book that a lot of expectations are abound for this series. I heard them on an interview saying, "Oh, wait till you get to issue 6." I'm like, wow. So that's a lot of books that you got to go through to get to issue 6. So is that going to be their big reveal? Well, then they better captivate me in the first 5 issues, because there's a bunch of other books. Just go to your comic book shop today and just look at the wall and see where all your money can go, because you can't buy them all, but you got to be very selective and collect what you enjoy reading. That is first and foremost what you should do. But I think it was an educational day today. It was a very fun day to go down memory lane of a lot of the comics. And wherever Will's at, I hope he's not throwing up somewhere.
Or I hope he doesn't get turned into an android.
And be careful when you pre-buy some of your stuff, because you never knew.
You just never know.
And we'll put it at
get
that.
Yep.
But until next time, I'm Robert.
And I'm Roll.
Keep ripping open those comics on the Rip Comic Podcast.
Rip and Star! Rip and Star!